We took delivery of it in the end of November 2024, so last year, and it's our first caravan. It's something very new to us as a couple, so we're so far really enjoying it.
I am an avid researcher, and I probably researched 20 to 30 different caravans. There's about 100 manufacturers in all of Australia, and we knew exactly what we wanted in a caravan because we'd been away for a trip and we knew the type of camping we wanted to do, particularly off-grid. And so it really helped us to narrow down our focus into what we needed. And then I guess Greg came in with a lot of the technical aspects of, the solar and the battery management system. And so that really helped to narrow down what we were looking at. And what was really important to us was buying from people who manufactured in Melbourne in particular, and we thought were incredibly trustworthy because if something was to go wrong, we wanted to know they'd help us.
Yeah, what was important for us was that we wanted both off-grid ability, so to run without power and water and be able to store our waste, but also off-road ability. And we really needed to search for something that was going to suit both of those two key aspects of what we wanted to do, and I believe we found it.
Whilst we were doing our research, Greg was away in Brisbane, and I was really working hard that weekend to find some caravan manufacturers. And because I was searching so much in Facebook, all of these caravan manufacturers were coming up, and Salute Caravans came up in my Facebook feed. And so I watched Joe in this video and I thought, oh, wow, that looks absolutely fantastic. So I went onto the Facebook page and I had a look at the caravans. I looked at the layout. Then I watched every single video I think Joe had ever made. And I thought these people were absolutely fantastic, seemed really genuine. I loved the vans. And from that point, I contacted Greg, who was about to get on an aeroplane, and said, you need to watch these videos. And when you get home, let's have a talk about Salute as a caravan manufacturer.
We were searching far and wide, looked at just about everything because, as Meg mentioned, she's an avid researcher. And once we came across, and the rest is history, but we were able to, expand or actually go out to the showroom and have a look at the caravans and how they're built, and that they are not a white label manufacturer. They actually make it once they get the chassis, they make the whole thing. And we didn't have to change a whole lot. It was the model that they had on offer for us was basically exactly what ticked all our boxes.
I think one of the funniest things was walking into the showroom because I felt like I had watched so many videos with Joe that I already knew Joe, and yet we were strangers for him. And so the other was we just felt really welcome and part of the family literally the minute we walked through the showroom.
We did later on catch up with the team at a caravan show in Shepparton, and look, we were on the hook by then, but there was absolutely no pressure. We wanted to just do check a few more things and ask a few more questions. And it was, I'm in sales. That's my work. And it's probably the most low pressure experience I've ever had. And it was great because it appealed to us.
We definitely looked at other caravan manufacturers, and given there's 100, and I kind of went, well, here's a long list of 20. And then I think we got to a short list at about 5. And part of it was researching each of those and then going into their showrooms. And part of our assessment was the how did you feel when you went into the showroom? How did the salespeople treat you? And then it was what's on offer. And for us, Salute nothing was an extra. Everything we wanted was in the model they were offering. And so that kind of made it easy. And I don't know, we felt like other manufacturers really tried to put pressure on to get a signature straight away. Whereas I felt the guys at Salute gave us the time and space, and they spent a lot of time educating us. Because when you're buying a caravan, it's a really big investment and you don't know what you don't know. And so I think in particular, Greg asked Fab every possible question you could. And Fab had the most amazing answers. And Chatina and I'd be talking, and all of a sudden it's like, where's Greg and Fab? Oh, they're behind the caravan again, going through the really technical aspects. So we swear they're brothers from another mother. But that Fab Fab was so patient. I swear we spent 5 hours of question asking.
But he was also very passionate about his what he does. Like it wasn't just, like here's a question, I'll answer it. All these questions were answered with passion, and some of the things that I threw up about alternative brands of some of the equipment that they put in, and he did not shot it down. That's probably not the right word to use, but gave a very good explanation as to why they use those suppliers that they use, and it was all about coverage for support across Australia. With an example of the fridge, I had suggested another brand, and he said, well, they're a very good brand, but the one that we use has 300 different service outlets around Australia, and that's important to us because we plan to travel in it. So, they were just one after another were valid answers. There was a lot of stuff that I asked and a lot of, I suppose, satisfaction from the answers that were provided. So it was a great experience.
So we have the Salute Governor Unlimited model of Caravan, and I guess Salute have a number of models that you can choose from. And for us, this one ticked all the boxes. So
as a central ensuite is something that we really wanted. We wanted the bedroom and the ensuite completely separate to the living area and the kitchen. And to do that, we didn't want the entrance being where the bedroom was. We wanted it basically at the opposite end of the van, which is what it is. Probably not so many with Salute, but they had. It's not a totally unfamiliar layout. There's other people that do it, but they just do it very well with the right levels of equipment that go to match with it. It's a couple's caravan, basically.
We knew all of the options which are available, and almost on the first visit, Chatina got me very excited and started showing me colour palettes, and of course that helps your journey when you're buying. We were very clear on kind of what we wanted for colours, and you can kind of see we have some very earthy tones in here. And we've renovated a mid-century modern home, and so we have these colours in our home, which makes this feel even more homely to us. And so we wanted something that represented the areas we are going to travel to, which is, largely remote and regional Australia. And so having the lighter colours on the top keeps it really open and airy, but then having the dark colours, which is where the dust's going to actually settle. But yeah, the colour of the couch was probably quite a bold choice, but we knew because we'd seen this before in our house.
We have a couple of high-end recliners that are upholstered in almost the same colour. And so it's we just wanted it to be familiar to us, didn't we? We like them so much.
But the process was really easy as well with Chatina. She has a really great way of working you through all of the options. And again, no pressure, because at this point, we hadn't even decided we were going to buy a van, but she showed us what was possible, and she's amazing with being able to put together her colour palettes. And so you walk away after your first visit saying, well, this is all possible and this is what it could look like. So caravan journey, I think that, again, I'm the researcher. So I find places that we want to go to, and we want to do some of the desert tracks in Australia. So last year we did the Birdsville track as we were trialling, is this for us? And this year we're heading into Central Australia. So we're going to head up Coober Pedy, Alice Springs, Uluru, Kings Canyon, back down the Oodnadatta track. Oh, we've got a Morini loop in there as well, and then headed over to Broken Hill. And I'm already planning 2026 travel, looking at the Gibb River Road. So again, one of those iconic Australian tracks, and then possibly even coming back down on the Tanami into Alice Springs. And so we're looking at doing a lot of dirt roads.
We bought it.
And so the reason why the Governor Unlimited worked for us, it's actually designed to go off-road into all of those places without losing your doors and your fridge and your microwave and all of the other things that can happen when you're on those dirt tracks.
No, we really want to explore the off-grid experience where there's no other people around and we are self-sufficient, because this sort of caravan was not available 10, 15 years ago. Everything's advanced, particularly with battery technology has advanced so much, and inverters, and you're basically living with the luxuries of a caravan park, but with no one else around. So you can just wake up in the morning and make your coffee with your coffee machine and turn on your heating, and all the pleasures that you'd have either at home or within a township, you can have in the middle of nowhere. And now with the addition of Starlink, it's like the sky is literally the limit.
People who've known me for some time raise their eyebrows when I say we've bought a caravan and we're travelling, off-grid and throughout Australia, because they think that camping for me was a 4-star hotel. And so when they've come over to our house and had a look, they literally step into the caravan and cannot believe the luxury. Yeah. And they say, now we understand why you want to go caravanning. And in fact, we have had some comments from people saying, this is bigger than my apartment. So we can't believe the luxury that you guys are travelling in. And that's been fantastic for other people to see what's possible as well.
Yeah, it certainly opens people's eyes to what, caravanning in the 70s is very different to caravanning in the mid-2020s. It's, there's nothing is impossible, basically, provided you've got the car to tow it and you've got the will to go somewhere and the time off work, most importantly. It's really something we're looking forward to doing more of. So the Caravan tows extremely well behind the Land Cruiser. It's a 3.5 ton rated Caravan, and so is the car, so that's kind of handy. And it just tows like a dream. It's got rear vision camera on the Caravan, which transfers to a screen on the dashboard, so you can always see who's coming up behind you, because I'm from the transport industry and trucks do not potentially like caravans very often. They don't like encountering them, but it's funny the amount of comments that I've had when you're actually travelling at 100 kilometres an hour and the trucks don't bother you, because that's the speed they travel at, and it's just really comfortable to tow. It's a great van to tow. So the other thing that gives you confidence when you're towing is that the Caravan has got anti-sway control, which I've never driven in a way that's encouraged it to come on, but knowing that it is there is just another thing that makes you feel safe when you're towing.
We were going to go and start doing travel overseas. We're in our heading to late 50s, and we wanted to go and see the world, and we decided that it's probably not the right time, and so made the decision to go around and see Australia first. And while we're young enough to tow a caravan and to be able to set up, and that's ideal. So, we got our home on wheels. We can literally go anywhere. And so it has actually changed our view of holidays as well. So now we're seeking more off-grid, more remote, beautiful sunsets, beautiful sunrises, and genuinely unique Australian holidays.
The road less travelled. I would say for me, because I'm very much what makes it work, the solar battery management system, the integration that the system is Red Arc, and it basically takes care of everything from what levels of water you've got in the tanks to how much power you've got left, how long you can stay off grid for. You're controlling all your lights from it, but it is all the one system instead of a patchwork quilt, which when we were checking out some of the other manufacturers, they had exactly that. It was like a patchwork quilt of different brand of this or that. And when something goes wrong, they point fingers at each other. So I think that they've done extremely well. And the brand that is used, Red Arc, is the high end. I know we use it in the trucks that we manufacture.
I think one of the other fantastic things was the fact it's on the app. So you control most things in this caravan via an app. And that's probably something that exceeded my expectations. I probably didn't understand the benefits of that.
Yes. Yeah. So with the Red Vision system,
so we can control
the awning that comes out, and if it gets a bit windy, the awning retracts itself.
The radio.
Yep. You can control the radio.
Solar reads. The light, yep. Everything. The dust control.
Yep, the dust reduction system, which pressurises the caravan when you're driving on dirt roads, so you don't get dust ingress. That's all controlled. You can, if you didn't even know there was a dirt road coming up, you don't actually have to stop the caravan and car to go and turn it on. You just turn it on from an app in the car and then keep yourself going. So that aspect of it is terrific.
The buying experience was an absolute pleasure, and it was so easy and it felt really natural. And, when things feel forced, it's not so comfortable. But Chatina and Fab and Joe were absolutely amazing throughout the process.
They didn't. It was like they were that confident in the product they had to offer, they didn't have to oversell it. We wanted to buy it. And that is a really good experience when that happens, because you don't feel like you're going to have a regret in making a very good decision. Because yes, of course, it's a lot of money, but it's money well spent when you have confidence in the people that you're buying off. And we absolutely had that. And I think a word that we would probably share to use for the Salute family is trustworthy. They just there was nothing about them that raised a red flag, or any coloured flag for that matter. It was just it was a really solid and deliberate decision to go with them and to buy the model that we bought.
I think the other thing for me is I feel like I'm part of their family. And every time we have contact with them at a show, we felt so welcomed. And after we actually signed off we're purchasing the Caravan, it's like, so we're coming over for Christmas dinner now? That's what it feels like.
We put on a very good Christmas light display at home, and we just put it out there to invite them over. And lo and behold, they showed up at our place to look at our Christmas lights. Now they're from the other side of town. So it was quite an effort, and we were so thrilled to have Chatina and Fab and the boys come over and have a look at what we had on display. So it just, it was just more confirmation that we were dealing with the right people. Yeah. So we already have made recommendations for them as a company to deal with, because they were just a standout. And if someone is throwing up between a few brands, I would do my utmost to try and convince them for my friend's sake, not necessarily for Salute's sake, but for my friend's sake, because I believe that would be a good decision and they'll benefit long term.
And I hang out on a lot of different Facebook groups, caravan groups, travel groups, and you often get asking what caravan brand should we look at, and I always put Salute up as a brand for people to look at. And I guess we didn't really know them before we started the research journey. And once we found them, they were so amazing. So I would definitely recommend them, because I want people to have the same experience.
Yeah.
There are so many dodgy manufacturers out there, and, people talk about being taken advantage of. And that's, again, one thing the family won't do. They won't take advantage of people. So when you pull up at a caravan park, everyone's interested in who's pulling up, what car do they have, what van do they have, and we'll often see someone appear at the door and say, "Oh, can I have a sticky beat? Have a look in your van." And I think the other interesting thing, we were pulled up to the Weybridge back near home, and we had someone who stopped the car and came in and said, "I can't believe you have a Salute. I have a Salute, and we never see other Salute caravans."
He was interested to know that we had a similar great experience to what he had in purchasing, and so that was basically what the conversation revolved around, rather than the caravans themselves. It was like, what was your buying experience like? That's what he was interested to know, and it was great.
I think their service is so consistent, so it doesn't matter who walks through the door, you are treated really well and with respect. And I agree that I think they know they've got a great van, and so they don't have to sell it that hard.
No, it's like I said before, low pressure. And it makes you feel very comfortable about the decision that you make once you do to buy one. So here we are.
I think it was really easy, and there was a lot of trust put in the family. And so I'd say from the minute I walked through the door to the minute we signed the sales contract, it was just easy and exceptional, really.
It was like a very natural experience rather than a fabricated one. It was, everything about it was from the start, the first inquiry to the taking delivery of it, the amount of time that they put into the handover, which is really important to understand, well, what have you bought and what are the features and benefits of it. So it was great.
Life's really short. Greg lost his mum and dad in the same month a few years ago, and it really highlighted to us how precious life is, and that we wanted to spend really good quality time together.
Yeah.
And for us, the experience of being away, seeing things that we never dreamed we would, and being able to do it in a caravan, which is incredibly comfortable, has just become more important. In fact, we're heading away in 50 days or 50 sleeps, who's not counting that. And so our whole life, and we work hard, right? But is geared now towards going away and spending time together. And the planning process and the making of the decisions. I mean, it really, holidays are now centering around our van.
Yeah, no, that's Meg's right. When you lose your parents, there's a real reality check that the countdown clock starts. And because we wanted to see more of Australia together and spend more time together, we see this as the best way to facilitate that by going away in a caravan and being away from others, because it's each other we want to spend time with, not others. So this type of caravanning experience is definitely what we're looking for.
I mean, we just love the van and we love the family, and I don't even know how to express that into words, because, I mean, we both work in environments where we're involved in sales
of manufactured products.
And I personally run about 250 service contracts with pharmacies and robotics, and I know the effort we put into customer relationships, because we get a lot of referral business, but it's really personal when something doesn't work. And so the connection with Fab and Chatina and Joe around that, I guess that resonated a lot. And that was where the feeling of, we get you, and it was the trust that we put into them and their manufactured product, which is quite extraordinary.
I would, from the discussions I've had with Fab about people that have had, issues, because if you've got something that goes on the road and it's got tyres, it's going to have some sort of issue. I'm in trucks, trust me. Is that he personally gets involved in, if someone's got an issue, he takes the call and he doesn't sleep until it's resolved, points them in the right direction. The suppliers that Salute they've selected to support the manufacture of their caravan have equal philosophies, and they are also wanting to get you back on the road. He didn't buy the product to have it sit around waiting for different parts in different parts of Australia. So, getting you back on the road, that seems to be his mission, and all the suppliers that make up their caravan, that seems to be their attitude as well.
And I would say that the other, and as you're looking at Caravan and you're comparing the prices and the features of what you're buying, genuinely, we sat and did like-for-like comparisons, and Salute came out ahead on pretty much everything, including price. And so it
was the best value for money proposition. Yeah. And that was one of our big antennas that were up, is we could have bought anything we liked, but, there's a certain amount of money that you think you're going to allocate towards anything in life. And it really hit the mark and gave the exact value for money proposition that we were looking for.